Hello, it's Jon Binnie here, your spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland, and I'm here today to support. Well, first of all, we're answering your questions you've been posting through to the link on my website. So thank you for that. And I'll be channeling in messages from my spirit guides, from Mother Gaia, from Galactic Federation, Sol, Luna, the souls of the sun and moon, archangels, and many more beings, depending on the questions you've been asking. And I'm switching it around today, so stick around because towards the end, I'll also be asking for general messages for all of us, humanity, what's coming up in the next few weeks and months that we all need to know about. Okay, so as always, let's go ahead and create a safe space. And as a reminder, this is really important for you to be able to receive clearly and cleanly the energy and the messages of what comes through me, and for me to be able to receive these messages and share them with you. So let's go ahead and create a safe space by taking in a deep breath through the nose and breathe out what no longer serves your highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion that no longer serves you, nice and loud. And continue to breathe deeply and calmly as it feels right for you. And focus your attention now on the very center of your heart, where the golden divine spark of your soul enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light up through the top of your head, reaching up into the sky and up into the stars. Reach all the way up to the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love of this universe. And there, connect in your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Feel into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love. Remain connected into source and extend your light cord down to the stars and sky, back down to the top of your head and into your heart once more. And now, together with the light of source above and your own light, extend a cord of light downwards this time, down through the base of your spine and deep into the earth. Reach all the way down through the layers of the planets until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connect in your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. We send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. Remain connected into Gaia's heart and extend your light cord back up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with light of source above, Mother Gaia below, and your own light, expand out your golden bubble of protective light to surround you, about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, in front and behind you. And set the intention that only energies and entities with your permission, your highest good love and compassion can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia, and ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with the integration of today's session. And now, through space and time, I create a golden protective bubble around all of us in the live stream and replay, and set the intention, only energies and entities with my permission and the highest good love and compassion can see us, access us, or exist within this space or within us, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately, inviting in my spirit guides, my higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna. And we're here today to answer your questions and also bring forwards messages, predictions that will serve your highest good over the coming weeks and months. And with this, we can get started. Okay, first things first. This is a recording. It was never streamed live, so apologies for that. I didn't want to interrupt the flow of the safe space. So if you're ever wondering, sometimes people say, "Oh, I missed your live stream." It does look a bit live, and I do it real time. This is a recording. Maybe I will do one of these live if you'd like this format, these questions and answers videos live one day. Let me know, and I'll see if I can schedule it in. It's early morning UK time. It's about 10 minutes to 8 a.m. So I tend to do live streams later on when the rest of the world's waking up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm really excited about these questions you've been posting, so thank you. And let's go ahead and go for the first question. So this first question is from Howard. Thank you, Howard. Howard, you post lovely questions. Thank you. And there's a long and short version, very clever, because I know sometimes the shorter versions are all I can read when I'm mobile on my phone. You're lucky. We're lucky today to be doing this on my laptop. So your question is, and we'll go with the long version. Howard says, if we start with the proposition, ... that the universe includes our Earth today, ... also includes all other energies, including all forms of matter and vibration, that originated simultaneously with the current Earth or its antecedents. I'm not sure what that word means. Or that flowed from them as some modification. Is there more than one universe? Is more than one universe? And the short version of this is there a domain of reality or more than one domain of reality that is not causally connected to us, i.e. is there more than one universe? Okay, great. Is there more than one universe? It's a great question. Now, I want to introduce my initial reaction to this is that, so each morning when I create a safe space around myself, I do one around myself, one around my home and planet and the solar system, and then the galaxy, and then the universe. And more recently, certainly within the last year, I create a protective bubble around the universe of universes. And my spirit guides are often laughing. They're saying that they're laughing at me about the universe of universes. And I just get a bit like, why are you laughing? Like, what's so funny? So yeah, it is a funny experience to go through. So let's find out more. I've already been receiving, so I had a glance at your question earlier, Howard. I've already been receiving a bit, and it did come through. Some more of it came through my daily meditation. Let's get a fuller answer. So let's go ahead and ask my guides. I'm just opening up to the beautiful beings that I've named and invited into today's session. Okay, this is Source is answering. It's a very grand, expansive openness that Source is coming through with. So I'm being shown that our consciousness, so this part of us, often we perceive, I talk about my soul, our souls being in the center of our heart, and we can describe, depending on your belief system, you can describe your consciousness as being kind of somewhere in the mind or somewhere between the mind, throat, and heart. I feel really our consciousness connects into our hearts, especially our upper hearts. And this is our soul. And that we really, come into this human form. And what Source is showing me is this, from our consciousness, this beautiful stream. Can I show it with my hands? This stream of energy coming out from our consciousness. And this stream of energy these are Sources saying they're consciousness waves. Now, that's not a term I'm used to. So this is also new for me. Consciousness waves. So these waves come out from our consciousness and they create this field, this energy around us. Okay. And Source is saying, and I will ask if Source would like to channel through me. I feel like we're just getting some introductions to some of these concepts first. Source is saying that as our conscious perception and our intention focuses on and Source is saying focus on the reality around us, we're creating the very reality we seek to focus on. And I'm being shown a torch. So often I do use this analogy where you'd have a torch. I don't have a torch as a prop. Let's use my hand. This is my torch, right? So as you shine the light of a torch, often what we think we're doing is with a torch is that we're generating light from the torch and it shines out into the darkness, and then the torch is illuminating the physical matter that already exists. And Source is saying it's really the other way around with our consciousness, that our consciousness is shining a light and creating the reality that we see. And I can hear Howard's question in the back of my mind, like, is there more than one universe? Can you explain a bit more about this? So Source says this universe is created by our consciousness, individually and collectively. Nothing exists in the universe without life, without consciousness. There are Source says any kind of dead parts of the universe are simply empty voids. They're a galactic abyss. There's just nothing there. Source says the great nothingness. If you were to stand, I'm loving Source's voice. I feel this is a voice that it's different every time I connect into Source. I feel like this is the voice that I'll do some channeling in a moment. So I was just asking, for instance, what happens if you stand at the edge of this universe? Source says you then create an additional area of the your universe, because you are the universe. You then create this the space around you, and as you dive deep with your telescopes, even the analog and digital instruments we use, telescopes, including James Webb, and then the Voyager probes. These are extensions of our consciousness, just as the double slit experiment is affected by whether wave is a particle or light or both. Depends on whether we're consciously perceiving it or not. This is also true for the rest of the universe. Its existence requires us to be able to perceive it. And I'm being shown that um, the construct of the universe is that the universe is programmable by our consciousness. And by this, source means like the creation of what we observe is created in kind of like a kind of code, a bit like a machine code, but it's really the living code. We could describe some of it as mathematics, physics. The universe is created. This is the kind of how, not the why. The why is us. Why does the universe exist? It exists because of us, because of our consciousness. How does it exist? It exists through these codes, these universal codes, this programming language, if you like, of the universe. We don't need to understand it. Our conscious awareness interacts and creates it. So there is a kind of fabric of the universe. It too is energy. It too is created from the so it is, this fabric of the universe is created from the collective consciousness of every living thing in the universe. It is not separate. And Source says so many of our questions, and I still feel like I haven't quite answered the question about, is there another universe, or is this the universe it? Source is saying, because this universe is consciousness first, everything that we perceive is there because we've chosen to perceive it. We've sought it out, that it doesn't exist until we choose to perceive it. Remembering that it's not just you and I, it's not just humans that create this universe, it's every living thing. So, if you have a sea creature that's right down at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and no humans ever seen it, it still exists, right? Because it's alive, it's conscious, and it doesn't need us, doesn't need our permission to exist. It just is. And the same with life across the universe. And Source says, so in this respect, there are aspects of the universe that are being created by our consciousness when we're perceiving out, we're zooming out across the universe. And then there's also, and so we're kind of creating it real time. And then there's also aspects of the universe that are already alive and they're already conscious. And so when our consciousness meets their consciousness, we're just perceiving each other. And this is, Source says, this is the one of the hardest things that humans, modern humanity, has to get our heads around, is that everything we're perceiving is because of us. Everything. Okay, and let me see if Source would like to step into me. I'm just going to drink some water. And also get comfy. Okay, let me ask. Yes, please, Source, could you help answer the question, is there more than one universe? Time and space and energy are all facets of creation of your consciousness. The dimensions of you and your earth, your star, your solar system, your galaxy and your universe. These are all created by your consciousness. when your consciousness makes significant decisions, life altering, with energy, emotional energy of such magnitude, you create a new timeline. When you raise in vibration beyond the capability of the dimension of the universe that you exist within, you create a new dimension and you enter it. When the emotional energy and the decisions, the thoughts and actions that you take become too much for this current fabric of this universe to support, a new universe is created to support this by you. This is your universe of universes. The self-simplification, hygiene, and maintenance of these universes are that when your consciousness settles in and becomes happy and content and filled with gratitude for your timeline, your dimension, and your universe, all of the other universes and timelines you have created have a choice to rejoin, to merge with once more the other universe of you. This is why, as a human, when you create these significant energetic and emotional events in your life, it feels like you've been broken into many pieces, and then gradually you reform yourself back together. You pull yourself together. You're all multi-dimensional beings. You're all multi-timeline and universe beings. And it is your consciousness, the greatest expression of your consciousness, your emotions. It is these that fuel the energy and then the matter of your reality. You will have many questions, as you should. Keep asking these questions. Keep exploring your reality. One day humanity will realize that you've been asking the questions of this universe for hundreds and thousands of years. And yet really all you're doing is standing in front of a mirror and asking questions, expecting the mirror to answer back. One day you realize the universe really exists within you. Your creative and co-creative consciousness. I love you. Keep asking your questions. Wow, thank you, Source. The things I saw. I appreciate your sticking with me through this video. These are big concepts to feel into. And, it leaves me with lots of, very simple questions like, well, does that mean that my house doesn't exist if I'm not looking at it? I feel like it does exist because you both, you perceive it and Um, it's we kind of give a form of life to things, you know, to our physical things, um, as we interact with them. You know, we give them some of our consciousness. Um, yeah. So I have so many questions. I can only encourage you for that answer to first of all thank Howard, and secondly to just allow yourself to feel into it, you know, and maybe pick like one of those things. Like I love the question, what happens when I stand at the edge of this universe? Like, is there just some wall? Is it like that kind of flat earth um, theory where it's like a nice wall at the edge? I don't know. So they're lovely things to feel into. And there's a lovely parenting like aspect to source, just there, like, you know, just saying to us, you know, have your fun, you know, this reality is not it's nothing like as rigid and as structured and as physical as we thought. And I don't know, many people still believe that this universe is matter, and that somehow within matter there's energy. And it's like, no, it's the other way around. It's energy that creates matter. That's why atoms vibrate, right? It's like if you zoom into us, we're all like this. We're all just vibrations. And where does the vibration come from? Our consciousness. Okay, wow, that was phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you so much, Howard. Um, okay, oh, I'm not doing beep boops. I kind of missed those. Let me do a couple. Beep boop, beep boop. Okay, the next question is from Krisk, or K Risk 8257. Hello. Ooh, this is an interesting question. So, your question is: I live in area where there are many volcanoes. Wow, me too, actually. Um, sorry, were many. Um, about 360 million years ago. I had a dream. I was flying around Mount St. Helens, Mount Adams, which I know very well, and Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier was trying to get my attention. Sorry, Rainier was trying to get my attention. It kept saying, "Look at me." Um, I was laughing because I was imagining this, "Look at me." It was way bigger than the other two. My question is, do volcanoes have a soul like an individual soul? And those were in capitals. Um, I know they have a life force. I do always acknowledge them when I am out and about. Thank you very much. And then some lovely little emojis. And thank you so much for your question. Do volcanoes have a soul? And I suspect you're also asking, you can ask, do mountains have a soul like an individual soul? So yeah, let's ask. I'd love to ask my spirit guide Maya, who is an elemental of Earth. So let me ask. So this answer may may surprise you. The first part, maybe not so much, which is yes. In short, my spirit guide Maya says yes. Mountains, volcanoes have souls, individual souls, like you and I. I say like you and I, the same as you and I, right? We all have souls, so we can choose to incarnate as anything, right? Rocks, crystals, like they all have souls. And then this is new to me. This concept, this next concept, is new to me, and that is, um, I'm just asking you. I'll ask for some examples as well. So this is really fascinating. My spirit guide Maya says everything has a soul, right? Hear my dog Patch groaning in the background. Um, yeah, there's my mind today. Wow, you guys and your questions, and the answers are even more expansive, right? Um, I'm just asking, what do you mean by everything has a soul? Like literally everything? Rustling around and getting my labradorite crystal. You know, what about my crystals? I just have 3 crystals. This is two of them. I don't have three hands to show you. And aren't they beautiful? Beauties. So this concept of everything having a soul, I asked about, well, what about the small things? Like, does this, does my labradorite crystal have, is it an incarnation of a soul, just like my human body is an incarnation of a soul? And my spirit guide Maya says very fascinatingly that, for example, smaller objects, they do have a soul. However, it is up to the individual soul how much that soul, imagine the soul's like much bigger, right? How much the soul comes into and connects in with and becomes incarnated as that individual physical object. And it almost feels like how exciting it is. Like, is it, if you're a pebble on the ground, does that mean there's a soul for every pebble? Does it mean there's a soul for every grain of sand? So many questions. And this is a new concept that my spirit guide Maya is introducing to me, to us, which is that depending on the kind of the excitement, the joy, the frequency of the opportunity that object can exist, depends on how much the soul of that object will come into it. And another way of describing this in human terms is that when I'm working with people who have been going through really traumatic experiences, and often a lot of resulting in a lot of physical conditions and medical challenges or health challenges, often I'll see their soul at the center of their heart start to pull out a bit. Kind of, it starts to, from the center of the heart chakra, it starts to just like kind of retract, like that retreating feeling, that disconnecting feeling. Now, it doesn't fully disconnect, because otherwise the body wouldn't be alive, but it starts to withdraw a little bit. And it's that feeling that she was showing me. She was saying, Jon, just like humans' souls withdraw a bit when the human body is struggling. Wow, I really feel that in the center of my heart. And actually, those terms which I don't like this term. I'm not going to use the acronym, but sometimes we look at other humans and judge them and say, oh, Patch, hello. Can I show you Patch? This would be a lot of fun. It's Patch. Yay. Patch is on film. Hello, buddy. I think he wants snacks. Look at that. As soon as I said snacks, who said snacks? I've got snacks, Patch. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. It's because I'm not recording on my phone. I'm recording on my computer. Okay, we have some snacks for Patch. Okay, go get it. There we go. I'm trying to explain the universe to everyone. Patch knows. So just that feeling of, your soul retracting. Oh, yes. And when we judge others, and sometimes we judge other people and they're behaving a bit like robots, right? Like, I will just go to work today. I am part of the matrix. I am part of the matrix. That kind of robotic aspect of humanity is absolutely their soul, like stepping backwards and like coming out more. It's like, this is a really unpleasant experience. I am not having fun. And so the soul is stepping back. Good news is, I do feel our souls come in and out of us, not fully disconnecting, right? But kind of more fully engage with us. Like all our soul's superpowers and all our glorious abilities do engage with us more when we're like fully embodying ourselves, which is exciting, right? Which is great. That's what we're all trying to do, right? We're trying to embody ourselves more and more. And then, the opposite is true as well, right? That when we're struggling, our souls will kind of retract a bit, and we feel kind of like not we don't really feel ourselves. We don't feel like as expansive. Our hearts shrink more into fear. And you can imagine this is what a lot of people, unfortunately still want for us, is to be in fear. And so if you want to remember that ultimate act of, there's another treat patch. If you want that ultimate act of rebellion is to fully be yourself, embody yourself, be the whole you. Okay. It's a lot of fun having my little reverb effects pedal at my feet. And that's Patch's last snack. So let's see how long he lasts. So just wow. Thank you for your question. Yes, those beautiful mountains. Absolutely, the volcanoes feel that they have souls, and you can talk to them. Um, sometimes people talk about the heart of the mountain. Um, or I don't know if you've heard of that expression before. Just like every living thing, they have chakras and more, um, you know, aspects for us to learn about. So please do continue to explore that yourself. Wonderful. Thank you for your question. Next question is from Rob Ant 555. I've got a feeling I called you Rob Art 555 the other day. Thank you for your question. It says the main chamber of the red pyramid reportedly smells of ammonia, which is volatile. What is the compound forming continuously when it takes very high pressures to make industrially? Was the structure used to produce fertilizer? Interesting. So you're asking how it's formed when it takes high pressures for us to make it, and was this structure used to produce fertilizer? Let me just look at I'd love to see an image of the red pyramid. I mean, ooh, it's beautiful. I think I have seen it before. It's very red. That's so cool. Okay. Let me go ahead and ask. I feel like I'm being shown, my spirit guide Maya is trying to show me, she's showing me the pyramid and then showing me inside this this kind of, it looks like I describe it as like a kind of science experiment. It reminds me a little bit of the combustion engine. Stuff's coming in from either side and it's coming into some sort of central, not cylinder, but, space. And then there's some sort of chain reactions, or sorry, not chain reaction, chemical reaction is happening. So it could, I'm getting the answer to the second question first. Was it used to create fertilizer? You can tune, there's a central chamber within the red pyramids where I'm not being shown all the steps yet, but once these energy inputs, they feel that they feel that they are. One is sunshine, sun radiation, and the other is the ley lines, so the life force energy of Mother Gaia, and then there's also ambient energy. So some of us might call this like the 0 point energy, like the energy field around us, this universal field of energy. That between the three of them, when they're concentrated on a specific area, which is what the pyramid's doing, in the center there. I saw someone in the center and they had it looked like a very large, maybe a bit too large for one person to carry, but it seemed, it's not fixed there. It's a large tuning fork and they're hitting the tuning fork. And when they hit the tuning fork, it's way of programming what's created there. And so they would take different tuning forks for different frequencies depending on what they wanted to create. Does it create matter? Yeah, ultimately it does, yes. From those three energy sources. And sound, this is the fourth ingredient, sound. Uh, my spirit guide Maya says, this is often the thing that we forget to use when we're trying to create things as humans, is modern humans, is that we forget that sound energy is such a powerful creative force. So combining other energy inputs at the same time, we've got, really, it feels like the love energy and conscious flowing energy from the sun, from the earth, from the universe around us, this kind of life force, a chi or reiki or quantum energy, as I call it, and then sound from the tuning fork set at a specific frequency. And I don't feel that there's currently a tuning fork there, that it's mobile. Maybe they'll be found one day in the area, or maybe they've been taken far away. I don't know. It seemed about this sort of size. It's but heavy, really heavy. And so the larger the fork, the lower the frequency. And that without that, there's a kind of default frequency of the chamber itself, and that's what's creating the ammonia. Wow. That's really cool. Why do I feel like everything, all today's questions are connected together? It seemed like a very conscious way of creating ammonia. So thank you so much for your question. Okay, next question is from David Metz. Hello, David. Can you share more about simultaneous lives? Wow, everything's, you guys, everything's connected. So can you share more about simultaneous lives? My understanding is that we are living in all timelines. No, I'll start again. My understanding is that we're living all lifetimes simultaneously, but only experience them one at a time within each life period. Then I met someone who is living as two separate individual projections of their higher self within the same time period, although they hadn't met and were not aware of each other's existence in the physical. Is this common or rare to have overlapping lives within the same individual timeline? They were very different in and temperament from each other and appeared to be working on quite different aspects of their nature. Wow. Okay, so can we share more about simultaneous lives? Fabulous. So let me ask. My spirit guide, Emin Shell, the Lyran, is stepping forwards. He's a great teacher. Thank you, Emin Shell. So the first concept, the first paradigm for us to shift in our minds is that there's not, linear time isn't real, right? So in this respect, simultaneous lives don't kind of just go, like, they don't just follow an arrow from left to right and just, then you have another arrow, a second arrow at the same time. It's not like that, right? So let's just dissolve. Let's imagine for a moment that linear time doesn't exist. It's a kind of handy, simple concept that we're all very used to, including me even looking at the at the video time and think, wow, we're 44 minutes now. However, just like this video, and I hope you're enjoying it, it's all about the experience, right? So our consciousness was never born. Our consciousness, our souls weren't born with concepts of time, right? Our souls don't really care about time. They're not worried about incarnating by 10 a.m. in the year 2060, as a certain being. Our souls are timeless. So that's one concept. Okay, and Evan Shell's next showing me, wow, okay. And I'm going to just evolve a little bit of what I've previously shared before and then share what Evan Shell's added on top. So this is your soul, and I know that it's black, right? Let's imagine that it's beautiful and bright and white. Um, like if I picked you up and showed you my YouTube light. This is your soul. Hang on, let me try. Your soul. Okay, there we go. That's your soul. And if it was white, it could be black, it could be any color, right? Your soul is really your consciousness, is the totality of you. And then what happens is your soul has these kind of spokes of a wheel, right? And each spoke that, can I do this with my fingers? Each spoke that comes out is a lifetime, right? So at the end of each of these spokes are lifetimes of you, incarnations of you. So this could be John, born 1976. I know, I look so young. And this could be James, born, this is a previous incarnation of me. James, I was born in 1851. And then there's another version of me. I'm not sure I've asked their name actually. I was born in 1921. This one was in the Scottish borders. This one was in New York. I say was, so that really, and I could continue on, right, with many lifetimes. All of our lifetimes they exist simultaneously. So all happening now. This is why past life healing works so much. Is because when you heal James, like one of my previous lives, or when I was a woman in New York, when you work on healing for them, like it affects my soul, and my soul affects all being, all aspects of me. Oh, I love it when you comment and say, John, I love that you crack yourself up. And it's like, yeah, I absolutely do. Patch still thinks I have snacks. Patch is, I wonder how many incarnations of Patch there are. Look at this little fella. You're just so cute, Patch. People love you, Patch. They do. I don't know if you know, but you get more likes on photos than I do. And probably videos. I could put Patch in the thumbnail of this video. He keeps doing this with his paw, which means what's happening next? I want something next. Okay. So one soul, many incarnations. Gotcha. And I've lost it right there. I lost my soul. So, and each, can I do this without dropping it on my foot or in a soft air of my body? I really don't want to drop it. So with your soul, on the journey, like from your soul out to the tip here of your incarnation, at some point, I think it's about 1 meter to 2 meters above our heads in our soul star chakra. This is where your higher self exists. So you have a higher self for each of for each of your incarnations. So that's cool, right? I also feel that as you continue on your journey through your life, and if you're choosing to continually raise your vibration, then at some point the gap between you and your higher self like narrows until really you become your higher self. And I definitely feel that, like absolutely feel that in my life. I'm not fully there yet, or for the times that I do, maybe I'm in my higher self right now, and then I'll go and drop something on my foot and get really annoyed. And I'll be like, ah! And then I'll kind of drop out of it for a moment because the gap between me, my higher self, and I, like that Jim Carrey movie, that gap extends. Okay, so this is all like taking on a journey to help answer the question, really, of like, do we have simultaneous lives? Can we have those questions about, can we overlap in our lives? And Emenshell says, yes. So first of all, we can have living, conscious overlaps with our what we would term as past lives, right? And they're not really past lives, because when you collapse linear time, everything's happening at the same time. So this means that this is simultaneous. And I do things like, so there's two experiences I'd like to share. One is James, who was born in 1851 down the Scottish borders. When I visit that place, I can ask him to appear to me. Now he appears in my third eye, right? So he's not. I feel his density is quite a bit different to mine, so he doesn't appear to me physically. Appears to me in my third eye. I could stand there opposite him and describe him to you in that moment, what he's wearing, what he's saying, what he's doing. And I ask him to take me on a tour. I ask him to walk with me. And yes, it feels a little bit like you're walking with a ghost, yet he will bring me into his timeline. He'll show me what he's experiencing. And because he is me, right? We're kind of like, we're just, if the soul's at the center here, we're just two, like, whoops, what was it? These two, these two connections. We're just two parts of the same soul, two peas that are really the same pod. And so that's really lovely. And I can talk to him. Sometimes I have dreams about him. Sometimes I have dreams as him. And then there's another, we'd usually call it past life. And again, if we just shrink those the concept of linear time into the present, I have a lifetime where I was called Trinity, female, and I live really close to where I live at the moment, except I lived in an underground cave of crystals, which is right next to a water treatment facility now, and that's really old as well. And what's fascinating is I know she lives on. Trinity lives on. She asks me, because I pass her on my morning run each morning. She asks me to say hello. She says hello to me. And it's a really interesting experience, because she is living. It's to do with her vibrations very high. It was very high for back then, in a very low vibration earth. She felt people would see her and describe her as an angel. And so, and that's who, if you're a very high vibration human and then you go and visit some beings in hell, you come across a lot like an angel. And I know that sometimes it feels a bit like you're living hell on earth. And sometimes other humans turn up to us and they are the angels in our lives. And it's just that perception, that feeling of the gap, the distance between us in vibration, very high, very low. So yeah, there's this beautiful expansion to expansive awareness of all our aspects of us to feel into and explore. It's a lot of fun. My top tips are when you go to a place that you feel you might have been there before, but you can't explain why. Ask your soul, place your hand on your heart, ask your heart, your soul, have I lived here before? Is there another version of me, another lifetime of me that lives here? Okay, now let me ask more specifically about the question of, well, what about, was it David Met? You're asking about these kind of simultaneous and that amazing experience you have about, meeting like another version of, feels a bit like the same person. Okay, let me ask. Okay, so the first thing is you can have more than one higher self per incarnation. This is completely up to this decision for how many higher selves you have is down to your soul. Your soul gets to choose. Okay. And then secondly, it's true the other way around. You can have more than one incarnation per higher self. And what that's really interesting. So what Emenshell says is that that experience you described, David, as, two people kind of feeling like they're maybe part of the same higher self, or they seem like the same incarnation, but different, very different. Is that these are explorations of the soul, and Emin Shao used the word gamble, which I find really funny. I would prefer, maybe more diplomatically, to call that experiment or experience, exploration into experiences. The soul has decided to explore two different aspects of that person, even in the same. I describe this as dimension and timeline. Then Emin Shao saying, and lightly, the other thing that's different is for you, David, is that if you're at a high vibration, right, you're going to meet the high vibration version of that person. When you're in a low vibration, you'll meet the low vibration of that person, and it's because you shift between timelines, right? You drift and vibrations, so you're getting a frequency match. I definitely feel that. Since my awakening, I meet many more people who have been through awakening experiences, and mine was in 2017, and it took me a long time a few years before I met other people that have been through their awakening experiences, and that's really exciting, right? That there's no. Remember, going back to what Source was saying at the start, a lot of these rules that we kind of try to form in our minds to simplify our understanding of the universe. The universe. When we try and understand the universe, we project onto it timelines, dimensions, lifetimes. Like we place concepts with constraints. And just as Emin Shao was describing, there's no real constraints to these things. There are just a series of foundational, fundamental concepts that support the existence of consciousness and the energy that's created from our consciousnesses that creates this universe. So I feel that's also why I say things like never say never, right? Because if I or some other soul or being decides that they're going to manifest, create, whatever word you describe it, their consciousness wants to experience, then it's going to happen, right? Just like you could say, well, John, that's impossible to leave your Amazon job for 8 years and then come and become a full-time spiritual psychic mentor and earn money doing the thing you love. Like, it seems so improbable, and maybe some people would say that's impossible, and yet once you've done it, it clearly was possible. You made it possible. And I'm not saying it's the most miraculous thing any human's ever done. It's just that it's an example of taking something that feels improbable and making it possible, right? Wonderful. And we're just about up on time. And there are still some questions for me to catch up on. And there's a couple from Cheryl as well. I know you've been asking about yours, so thank you for your questions. Do keep your questions coming. I have about enough questions to get through one more video, so keep them coming, and I'll keep going through them. And what's really interesting is that actually, I can answer this next one really quickly, because it's just for me. It's just for John, right? And this one's from Marla Petty, 1665 or 1665. And the question is, good day, John. You spoke about a chance of a lifetime offer for yourself. Did I miss the follow-up? I felt your excitement. I wait semi-patiently to hear of your next successful venture. Okay. So I don't know if you've watched the video. It's entitled something like Amazon Layoffs and My Monthly Reflections of Creating My Dream Life. I posted it on Thursday, so 2 days ago. Take a look at that video and you'll get the kind of first feelings about my journey to financial independence, semi-retirement, never really retiring, always doing this work forever. And those those experiences that I'm going through in my personal life. So that was the main thing I've referred about to like this lifetime offer. What has happened since then, and there'll be more shared about this in detail, in a lot of detail soon, is yesterday, latest news. Beam, 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 beam. Jon Binnie news. I had an incredible session, and it's called Your Fantastical Life. It's a new service from Chloe Rose, my dear friend Chloe Rose, and she gave me this incredible session, which helped me both face a lot of the things inside of me that were imprisoning me and holding me back, and then got me to be able to experience, and that involved a lot of crying and ugly crying from me. She was fantastic and held me wonderfully throughout the session. And then towards the end, stepping into and experiencing my future fantastical life. And this morning I woke up in my fantastical life as Fantastical Jon. So there's more to come there. And I feel like probably that's even bigger than these kind of traditional terms of semi-retirement, financial independence, slow financial independence, slow fi, all these different terms, these labels. It's definitely a journey of me freeing myself up more to not be so constrained and to do more of this work, in particular more YouTube work and more adventures and more travel, and more fantastical experiences, and get out of my prison cell. What am I doing here? It has no air or windows. So that's really exciting. So thank you, Marla, for your question, and thank you for asking about me and my life. I appreciate it. Okay, Patch has settled down. Let me just ask in the last few minutes, because I did promise at the start, right? Let's see if there's any messages coming up. Like we haven't spoken to Mother Gaia. Let's just check in and see if there's any messages coming up for us over the next few weeks and months. Mother Gaia is showing me, this is first of all, it's energy, and it's coming down vertically, down to the land, down to the earth. So this is really quite a small meteor, and it's towing ascension wave energy. This video has so many new concepts. So this is a new concept to me. So if you wonder, for example, why Three Eye Atlas, we're often really interested in the tail. And didn't I see like a thumbnail recently where someone said the tail of Three Eye Atlas is like pointing at Earth? This isn't Three Eye Atlas I'm being shown, a guy's showing me, wow, my fingers are tingling. She's showing me this very vertical fall of a meteor, and it's really not very big. Like it wouldn't, what sort of size is it? I'm being shown like a small car, a small UK car. That's really small, right? Smaller than that, without the engine bit at the front. Okay, what is that? Is that about like 2 meters in length? Like one of our little micro mini cars? Yeah, about that. And really interestingly, as it falls, what I'm shown is my only prop I have. I'm shown coming up from either side is this almost a tube, a cylinder of energy coming up directly above it. And so as it falls down, it's creating this kind of tranche, this funnel in of energy behind it. This, and what it allows is what's following it is a very intense ascension wave. And if you're not familiar with the concept, these are energy waves, very high vibration, flowing from the center of the universe, the universal sun, star, flowing to us. Often a lot of it's coming through our sun to us, through our own sun's direct connection to source, and also directly into our hearts. And this is a new way, I've not seen this before, coming in from an interstellar object, down landing on Earth. And it feels, if you've ever seen like people doing fly fishing, you know, when they have these big bendy rods, and now they have, I've seen people with like ones that shoot, and they almost like, they hold the reel, and they have a little bit of bait at the front, and they're going to shoot the line right out really far. That's what it felt like. Is that this little meteor is like bringing down these like a very intense ascension wave. I'm just going to bring up my notes so I can take a note of it. And let me ask: is there a when and where? Does it matter where it is? And also a why? Oh, so it's breaking up. It's designed these higher frequencies. Higher frequencies have an effect on low vibration frequencies, of breaking low vibration frequencies up. All right, I'm showing Alaska. Okay. Meteor, Alaska. Okay. And Alaska's pretty big, right? Central West. I would need to look at a map to understand what that means. And it has very little physical effect on the area, which is good news. Well, depending on what you want, if you want negative energy to be broken up. And it causes, wow, I'm feeling this, wow. So right now I feel my heart expanding. And it's filled with these beautiful rainbow colors. Thank you, Gaia. Yeah, she's using the words open heart activation. This does have an effect on the land, on ley lines and people, every living thing. How wonderful. And can we ask when? Do you know if this... So this meteor has some... does have free will. So it may decide to change its... I was just asking, since it's a meteor, does it not like burn up in the sky? So no, it does make its way down to Earth. Okay, so I was given the date of 12th of March, so March 12th. And if not, there's a second opportunity, which is in September, also the 12th. That's a long time to wait. Well, fascinating. I'll be looking forward to that. You know what's really interesting? There was a big green meteor that landed quite near where I live, just a few miles away. About, I don't know if anyone got a photo of it, but loads of people saw it. I think it was Wednesday night this week. I didn't see it. Right. Well, Patch is getting restless, and I'd love to give you a recap of 2026, including, we've just passed the ascension point of locking in for the fifth dimension. So the fifth dimension is now open for business. February will be a continued circus. We've heard that in previous videos. Try and keep a good sense of humor and keep happy and high vibrations, strong boundaries, and focused on what you want for your new world. February Ascension Wave, we heard from Sol about. So the sun will be bringing us new energies and upgrades. And then also, Sol's spoken about a bright light in March. So, like, really bright activation lights. Then we've heard a bit more about March 12th and this meteor bringing in and triggering more open heart activations. How exciting. And then that brings us into Q2, which is where the 5D split begins with the third dimension, fifth dimension. Don't worry, there's not a deadline, and you can always choose either at any time, right? So no soul left behind. So just saying hello to Cute Patch because he's being very cute. Hello, Patch. Hello, buddy. I honestly think he sometimes just gets bored of me talking the whole time. It's like, he's still talking. So yeah, I'd like to bring our session to an end, thanking our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna, and every soul that's participated in today's session. Please remain in your individual protected bubbles for as long as you choose. Step outside of the shared space as I close it down and return to Source or never return here again. And please do get plenty of rest and drink as much water as it feels right. There's a lot of concepts in today's session, and I'd love to hear your reflections. Why don't you come back? You can comment, of course, today. Come back in a few days' time and share with me your reflections, your integrations. And I've got a lot to integrate. I don't know about you guys from today's video. And the way I tend to do it is I just allow the kind of, a bit like when scientists propose new theories to each other. They'll say, like, they'll write a paper about it and they'll come up with evidence to support it, or maths or simulations or whatever, experiments. And they put this kind of hypothesis out there. And so we're really at that stage with a lot of these things. Please don't take all this for verbatim, right? It's important for us all to form our own truths about the universe. That's what helps us experience such a beautiful, wonderful, diverse universe. And what I do is I tend to often go walks in nature, out walking with Patch, talking a lot on YouTube with friends, and I just allow myself to receive the reflections of it. And I'll say, like, do I feel this is a conscious universe first? Is it consciousness first? Yes? No? Is it maybe energy, then consciousness? Like, just I feel into that, often ask my hand and my heart, and then I allow like a yes or a maybe or a no at this time, or not yet. And if it's a yes, I then begin to feel into, okay, well, what does that really mean? Like, what does it mean for the rest of all my other belief systems and concepts, and allow them to kind of rejig around that yes, and not just kind of leave that concept stuck out there somewhere in the universe. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please do all the things, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, hype, come along to, I have a live stream on Monday, answering your questions and doing your requests for quantum psychic readings, clearings, healings, Akashic record readings, and so much more, with my co-host Viviane Heller, and our special guest is the wonderful, amazing, the Queen of Darkness and Light, Chloe Rose. So she'll be on, and so just keep an eye out on my live page for that, and you'll get notification if you've got the notification bell selected. And thank you so much for your love and support. I hope you enjoy these videos and click on these links that are coming up just here. All right, take care. Sending love. Bye. Goodbye.